Hey guys, today we are reacting to another video called This Band Blew Up, but they aren't real people. So just log in and yeah, let's just watch the video.
The Velvet Sundown has been getting quite a bit of attention online. In just a few weeks, they have managed to garner over 600,000 monthly listeners on Spotify, with many fans saying that they have been getting recommended this band's music through Spotify's weekly mixes and other algorithm-based promotion. But very quickly on Reddit and other social media platforms, fans noticed something strange. The Velvet Sundown isn't a real band, and all of their members aren't real people.
I mean, we've been new. This band, the Velvet Sundown goes viral. Like, I think it's everywhere. People know about this band, and people know that this band is AI. I don't think a lot of people are surprised. I mean, not s- by that I mean it's not like a hidden secret. It's the band has gone very viral.
On June 5th of this year, the Velvet Sundown released their album Floating on Echoes. Just 15 days later, they put out another album called
15 days. That's sinking. Frank Ocean needs 10 years. It's crazy, man.
Dust in Silence. Right away, it's pretty crazy to put out 2 albums in a row, but I guess it's possible. And also, their album covers don't look that great. Their music isn't really anything
I mean, it's not.
possible. And also, their
I mean, yeah, it's kind of boring, but I don't think it's horrible. It's okay. There's some pretty interesting things happening. Like the eye, obviously, it it symbolizes the Illuminati. What else? The cracked egg. I don't know what that means.
album covers don't look that great. Their music isn't really anything special and almost sounds soulless mixed with some really poor mixing.
Dust on the wind, boots on the ground, smoke in the sky, no peace found.
Over time, their tracks made it into people's weekly
Honestly, low key guys, I'm not gonna lie. I think it's pretty decent. I don't think it's bad at all. I mean, it's like your typical, not country band, like pop band where it's just music that's very melancholic. It hits. I mean, the sound is familiar, so it's pretty catchy, I think.
mixes or recommended songs on Spotify, and they began to rack up a few 100,000 streams, most of which actually seem to be organic, although it's very possible bots were at play. But very
No, I don't think it's bots. I think the music is genuinely like it's passable. Like you can put this inside the car or at a function at home or at yeah, when you're having a party at your house and you're not like partying, maybe you're eating or some light drinking, you can put this on and it'll be a it'll be a vibe. I don't see why it's I'm not like immediately bashing on this AI artist because the music is actually not horrible. I mean, and 99% of AI music is horrible, I think. Even though I have not listened to a lot, it, this is the best I've heard so far. Even though the the bare minimum is not high, but it still hits the bare minimum.
quickly, Redditors and others on the internet noticed something strange. If you look at their profile picture, the 4 band members don't really look like real people. Instead, they look AI generated. If you look even further at their Spotify description, it says, "There's something quietly spellbinding about the Velvet sundown. You don't just listen to them, you drift into them. Their music doesn't shout for your attention, it seeps in slowly, like a scent that suddenly takes you back somewhere you didn't expect. Now, one thing about AI such as ChatGPT is it uses sentence structures sort of like it's not just X, it's Y. And once you notice this, if you interact with AI enough, it becomes increasingly easier to pick up on. But it doesn't end there. Before they were caught, they also had a fake Billboard review in their bio as well that said, "They sound like the memory of something you've never lived and somehow make it feel real."
So the fake streams, these allegations are wild if it's true. They fake streams. What this guy is saying, they fake streams, they fake. They use AI for the photos of the band. They use AI for the actual music, and they fake music reviews to make them seem legit. That's crazy.
Which is pretty strange that they just lied about having a Billboard review. The Spotify description continues to say, the band was formed by singer and Mellotron player Gabe Farrow, guitarist Lenny West, Milo Raines, who crafts the band's textured synth sounds, and the free-spirited percussionist Orion Rio Del Mar. Together, they quietly build the perfect sound to get lost in. Multiple outlets, journalists, and internet sleuths have all looked into these people, and no one can find anything on them. Not one social media page, nothing. Also, their name is just pretty obviously ripped from the Velvet Underground. My favorite part about
So they just made up names of people. That's crazy. What are the names again? Gabe Farrow, Lenny West, Milo Raines. I mean, the names sound old school. I mean, yeah, the names, I'm gonna be honest, the names feel AI generated. Like if you compile every singer-songwriter name out there from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, and you compile it and you make a randomized and you ask AI to make a randomized name using the data. Yeah, I can see it'll come out like this.
and since Spotify pays on the high end 0.005 cents per stream, they probably have only made like 3K from this, which definitely is a good chunk of change if they would continue to keep getting these types of plays. But I'm fairly certain that since they've been exposed and this is a whole big controversy, it's just the peak of their plays and it's probably going to drop off next month. Regardless,
3,000 USD for 700,000 streams. Spotify pays peanuts for artists. Like it's not even fair. Like it's not. It seems like a joke. Like 0.003 cents a stream. How are artists supposed to make money like that? No wonder when the pandemic started to hit, a lot of people stopped. Genuinely, a lot of artists stopped being artists and took up another job just because they can't make money using music, because all the money they make using by touring and making and playing concerts. And when the pandemic happened, they just couldn't do that. And yeah, Spotify, like I said, like this guy said, it pays peanuts.
Regardless, once you leave Spotify or any other music service to learn more about the band, everything becomes very clear. So one thing that's confusing is once you go to like Instagram or Twitter, there's multiple pages that are pretending to be the Velvet Sundown. So it's kind of confusing which ones are official and which ones aren't. This Instagram page isn't linked to them, but I've noticed a lot of journalists are reporting on this page, and it features a ton of pictures of these very clearly AI generated people that are supposed to represent the band members. I mean, there's even a picture of them recreating the Beatles album cover where they're all just the same height. I think this one may have been previously linked to them and then they switched it. Regardless though, a lot of people are reporting on this page, making it seem official, but it isn't technically official. I also, strangely enough, found some Twitter pages impersonating them too. But the weirdest thing is that on their actual official pages that are linked to their Spotify account, they keep posting this creepy promotional video.
Are you sure we're not real? Or did you just stream the dream again? You believed the lie and danced to it anyway. Paper Sun Rebellion, 14th July. Maybe we've already been there.
Clearly, this entire situation is disturbing. I mean,
I think that's just trolling. I think other people, not the people behind the Velvet Sundown. I think other people are just trolling and making this music, this AI artist situation even more like weird and creepy. But yeah, that video is just so, it's just rage bait basically. You want to rage bait people into being angry that AI can make music now.
maybe enjoying the music and then finding out that the people in the picture aren't even real and that the music might be AI generated as well. It isn't 100% confirmed that the music is also AI generated, but most people are assuming that, especially since the streaming service Deezer has marked the music as possibly AI generated since they recently rolled out a new feature that can check for that. Many listeners have also pointed out that all of their songs and song names seem heavily influenced by other popular artists and bands. Regardless, people are very upset. One person said, "Spotify has been shoving this band down my throat for the past few weeks. My Discover Weekly, my Daylist, my Daily Drive, my For You playlist. This is nuts. Generic plus mediocre psych rock with an essay of a bio and a fake band pick. Get me off this dystopic ride." In response to all that, with an essay of,
I mean, that's the problem with this AI music thing, right? It's gonna continue being better and better as long as you feed the algorithms more data. And like this person said, it's generic and mediocre. But mediocre is way better than unlistenable. It's way better than garbage. Mediocre means it's not for you, and it's probably the music, this Velvet Sundown band is probably for a lot of people. A lot of people will listen to this and be like, hey, this sounds pretty, this is pretty catchy. Let me save it on my Spotify or my my streaming service. People are not gonna bat an eye most of the time whether it is AI or not, because the music itself is listenable, is passable. For some people it's good, for some people it's great, for some people it's bad, but people are still gonna listen to it.
a bio and a fake band pick. Get me off this dystopic ride. In response to all the allegations about them being AI, the official Twitter page that's actually linked to their Spotify posted saying, "To all the journalists who wrote about us, thank you for listening. However, these are the only official pages of the band. All others are reflections, echoes, projections. Don't amplify what isn't us." So I think the main thing they're trying to do here is dispel the rumors of that projections. Don't amplify what isn't us.
Okay, this is also trolling, but the actual people who are behind the band is actually trolling. Right? don't amplify what isn't us. I mean, AI isn't us. AI is nothing, right? All others are reflections, echoes, or projections. I mean, that's what AI is, projections or reflections of other bands, other artists. And yeah, the way they word this tweet is very clickbaity and rich bait coded.
So I think the main thing they're trying to do here is dispel the rumors of that one page that has all the AI photos of them. But it isn't just Spotify's algorithm that's recommending this band. There's something even stranger happening behind the scenes. The Velvet Sundown is featured in multiple huge Spotify playlists that each have hundreds of thousands of saves. Playlists like Vietnam War music, Good Morning, upbeat pop hits, hundreds of thousands of saves.
What?
Playlists like
Hey, Vietnam War music. Like what? Vietnam War music brings you the most popular songs from Vietnam War. By that you mean, I think they mean songs that are popular during that time, right? But the way this playlist is named, Vietnam War music, like while they are shooting people, they are playing this playlist. Is that it? I think I don't mean to be too woke, but I think the title is a bit insensitive for me. But I digress.
Vietnam War music, Good Morning, upbeat pop hits, and even sensual songs. Now, these aren't editorial playlists like official playlists that are made.
Yeah, I can see the Velvet Sundown being played while, people are sleeping with each other. I can see that. Definitely, 100%.
By Spotify, but they are definitely made in a way that is attempting to trick the listeners into thinking that they are Spotify editorial playlists. And Velvet Sundown actually has 26 songs in the Vietnam playlist, which is like 8% of the tracks in a playlist with over 600,000 saves. This is a strange method people use where they try to build up giant playlists full of songs with big artists in them, and then can be paid by people to have their songs put into these big playlists. Because people who are just mindlessly listening to these big artists in these big playlists will likely be fine with some Velvet Sundown songs slipping in between the rest of their queue. It's
Whoa. That's pretty smart. So that's how people develop Spotify followings, even though they don't post, even though they don't make music, they post this playlist that whatever love songs, the greatest love songs of all time, or uh the most popular songs right now, or maybe they cater for a mood. Right? Play this playlist if you are sad. That type of stuff. And they put a lot of songs that are performed by big artists, and then they slip some music that are not unrelated, but they are not popular, like maybe the Velvet Sundown, or maybe you can put your own music, and that's how your music gets streams. That's honestly, that's really smart.
similar to if you've ever looked up an album on YouTube or like searched full album and played the playlist. You may have noticed that at the end a random 1 hour long compilation song will be playing, and that's how a lot of those playlist makers make their money. This is probably the main other way that Velvet Sundown has began to get recommended to people and got all this attention. But all of this left fans with a few questions, like, Who is paying to promote this AI generated band? And who is actually behind it? One big theory that's been going around is that Spotify themselves are actually behind the Velvet Sundown. One person was talking about how it showed up in their Discover Weekly, and a Redditor responded, not even just showing up by chance. Spotify is 100% intentionally pushing it. Back in 2023, I actually made a video that I ended up scrapping for some reason about similar allegations against Spotify. The allegations claimed that Spotify was releasing a bunch of fake music by fake artists and putting it in playlists, recommending it to people, and things along those lines so that they wouldn't have to pay out record labels. Many speculated this music was AI generated at the time, and also all of the songs were from a record label called Skytech Distributions. And the only website people could find about this record company shows that Skytech had released 195 of these stock photo AI generated name type of albums. The reason that Spotify would do something like this is because 2024 was the only and the first year that they made a profit. So before then, Spotify has consistently been losing out on money. One of their biggest expenses is paying out royalties to labels, so it would make sense that if they had their own music, all of that would go back into their pocket. And the threat of Spotify releasing a bunch of AI or fake or ghost music is very real, and it could cause a lot of problems for real artists. Even recently,
So the Spotify is going the Netflix route when they're paying out huge sums of money to distribute, to put a popular show like, for example, Friends, or How I Met Your Mother, or Two and a Half Men, or whatever it is, or big blockbuster movies like Iron Man or the Avengers. They give out large sums of money, so for a certain period of time, they're gonna have to keep paying paying these other studios to keep the movies and shows inside their platform like yearly. And it's better for Netflix to make their own shows, because yeah, if the shows catch on, if they get really popular, it will only stay on Netflix and people will continue to subscribe. And it seems that's what Spotify is also doing. Again, this is probably just a theory, but that's crazy. What a music streaming service is making their own music to out popular the other artists. Like, what? This just doesn't make sense. Like, they don't have to give royalties to anyone. Basically, they can just keep the money in their pocket and not give it out to anyone.
Spotify was accused of hiring 20 different writers to write for over 500 individual artists on the platform. The journalist who published the story interviewed former Spotify staff, like playlist editors, who said a lot of employees didn't even know where this music was coming from. Apparently, a lot of popular editorial playlists like Ambient Relaxation, Deep Focus, and Cocktail Jazz all had these ghost songs, with potential AI being used as well. Journalist Liz Pelly said Spotify editorial employees saw this new column on their dashboards pop up called Perfect Fit Content that was labeled Music Commissioned to Fit a Tightly Spellbinding about the Velvet Sundown. You don't just listen to the project. Despite all the theories from fans, is very real, and it could cause staff, like playlist editors, who said a lot of employees didn't even know where this music was coming from. Apparently, a lot of popular editorial playlists like Ambient Relaxation, Deep Focus, and Cocktail Jazz all had these ghost songs, with potential AI being used as well. Journalist Liz Pelly said Spotify editorial employees saw this new column on their dashboards pop up called Perfect Fit Content that was labeled Music Commissioned to Fit a Certain Playlist/Mood with Improved Margins. And I'm sure you guys can get what improved margins means at this point. Spotify for years has denied that they make their own music in-house, but with the amount of allegations coming from previous employees, it's pretty clear that this is something that is happening. There was even a report that suggested AI could cause creators a 24% loss in the music industry if things keep going the way they're going by 2028. So it is very possible, and probably already happening, that Spotify is trying to get in on this early. But the only thing that makes this theory not really make sense when it's
but still not I don't think that's feasible. Like a streaming service, a music streaming service, making music using AI and make them and the goal is to make the songs from AI and make them as popular as real songs, make them achieve 1 billion streams, 2 billion streams, 3 billion streams. I don't know if that's actually possible. I mean, it could, like, in a dystopian future. It's in if you think about the worst case scenario, it can happen, right? But people are still gonna listen to real music. I'm not being a boomer. I hope I'm not being a boomer by saying this, but people want to listen to real art and consume real art and not just slop.
Down is the fact that the songs were uploaded to a variety of different streaming services. If that's the case though, then who's behind this? Well, Rolling Stone was actually able to get a hold of the person who was behind this project. Despite all the theories from fans as this went viral, Rolling Stone was able to lock in an interview with the man who was behind the Velvet Sundown. Even though the Twitter account had been denying that it was AI, a man named Andrew Freelon said to Rolling Stone that it was actually an AI band. Also, we don't even know if Andrew Freelon is his real name or who he is, but I'm trusting Rolling Stone verified their sources. Regardless, he told them in an interview, it's marketing, it's trolling. People before...
Yes, it's trolling. It's trolling. People are trolling. AI learn from people trolling and they are also trolling.
They didn't care about what we did. And now, suddenly, we're talking to Rolling Stone. So it's like, is that wrong? He continued to say, personally, I'm interested in art hoaxes. We live in a world now where things that are fake have sometimes even more impact than things that are real. And that's messed up, but that's the reality that we face now. So it's like, should we ignore that reality? Should we ignore these things that kind of exist on a continuum of real versus fake? Or kind of a blend between the two? Or should we dive into it and just let it be the emerging native language of the internet? Very weird things he's talking about. Apparently, during the first interview, he claimed that AI was only used for the brainstorming of the music, but then he eventually admitted to using a program called Suno, which can generate music. Eventually, he admitted to using Suno to generate multiple songs, which leads us to believe that he used it for everything. He also said something sort of shady. When the interviewer asked him how he got onto those big playlists, he sort of dodged the question. He said, I'm not running the Spotify backend stuff, so I can't super speak to exactly how that happened. I know we got on some playlists that just have like tons of followers, and it seems to have spiraled from there. When asked if they used playlists of their own, he said, I don't have an answer that I can give to you because I'm not involved, and I don't want to say something that's not true. So in my head, this means a few things. It's possible that this was someone related to Spotify, or what might be more likely is it was one of the people who ran those playlists I was talking about, trying to make money by sneaking in their own AI generated tracks, which is actually kind of a really smart sort of scam. You know, you build up a playlist to hundreds of thousands of followers and then sneak in your own AI generated garbage music. Fans have said in response,
Yeah, I actually want to do this low key, but not use AI, make my own shitty ass music, and then make a playlist and create a playlist that's popular, like filled with popular songs by popular artists, and sneak in my shit music. I think that will be pretty. I think that's gonna be profitable.
response to the Rolling Stone article though, it's only been framed as an art hoax to cover their asses because the person in question got found out. Guaranteed this would have gone quietly unnoticed on playlists, creaming off royalties and taking up space from other artists for a number of years if Redditors hadn't spotted it. But Andrew Freelon also said something else interesting, and it was the fact that he used a program called Suno. Suno is a program that can AI generate tracks, and it's been picking up steam lately in the music industry, with even professional artists like Timbaland launching their own AI artists utilizing the same program. For example, recently Timbaland, a legendary producer in the music industry, launched an AI entertainment company called Stage Zero and an AI generated artist called Tata. Timbaland said, Tata is a living, learning, autonomous music artist built with AI. Tata is the start of something bigger. She's the first artist of a new generation. A-pop is the next cultural evolution, and Tata is its first icon.
A-pop. What? This is wild. A-pop. And what the heck is he talking about? You can't just make like you can't just make that shit up. Like, I'm in Malaysia, so Malaysian pop is M-pop. The country next to mine is Indonesia, so Indonesia pop is I-pop. Like, what the heck? That's not how that stuff works. It's crazy.
Ironically enough, Timbaland said that he did this because he thinks music right now is soulless, which is really funny when you're making an AI artist, which is the definition of soulless. When Timbaland got a ton of backlash for this, quietly spellbinding about the Velvet Sundown. You don't just listen. When Timbaland got a ton of backlash for this, another music industry executive came out in defense of him, and what he said was kind of crazy.
Do you know how hard it is to push an artist? They gonna tell you, I don't wanna do that. Jimmy Iovine famously told me one day, get you something that don't talk back. What is better than an AI artist that don't talk back?
There was also the incident back in 2022 when the AI rapper...
What the heck? That's just... They're just basically abusive if you take things too far like that. Like artists that can talk back, that can't talk back, that can't voice their rights, that can't voice their complaints or their concerns or their, working conditions or whatever it is. That's just crazy. It's not healthy at all.
FN Meka was actually signed to Capitol Records. Other than Meka's voice, everything else was AI generated. Immediately, people were upset, not just at the fact that it was AI, but also at the fact that the rapper used the N-word and just seemed to be like a racist caricature of what the creator thought rap was. This caused a lot of problems for FN Meka, the first ever AI artist to be signed to a record label, so immediately he was dropped from the label, however that works. But this hasn't been the only time that record labels have worked with AI. For example, Warner Music Group, one of the big 3 record labels, started working with an AI company called Endel. Most recently, they were shooting to create 50 ambient sort of albums with AI. Regardless, I thought this was a very crazy thing, and as generative AI just continues to get better and better, it could mean trouble for the music industry, musicians, and music fans alike. So it's up to the listeners to protest against this while they still can before it becomes indiscernible from regular artists. And maybe one day streaming services will work on programs like Deezer did and mark songs as AI generated, and possibly even give you an option to toggle on and off AI generated music, and I'm sure most people will have that toggled off if that were the reality. Anyways though, if you like this video, you might like my video on bots in the music industry, as they could have played a role in this situation and definitely play a role in the entire music industry as a whole. So make sure to click the video that's on the screen right now. Other than that, if you enjoyed, please...
I mean, I've heard of Velvet Sundown before this video, so it's definitely catching on. And I think it's just gonna get more. AI music is just gonna get better and better, and people are gonna listen to it more. I think that's the reality of it. There's no stopping that, I think. Well, there needs to be regulations that can placate that and make it so that they don't eclipse the popularity of real music, because if that happens, then I think we are cooked.